YouTube. Hope you're doing well. Today, I just kind of was feeling called to make a different video. I've been thinking about making my return to the plant side of YouTube for a while. Gardening is a huge part of my life, and I've made my channel kind of more of like a cover music channel, but because that's what I was feeling called to do over the last few years. Felt most genuine, but gardening has always remained a passion, and it is my future. So I just felt like I wanted to take you on a little tour of my grow room. I'm in a scary basement, but I have a little tropical paradise behind me. Um, it's pretty humble collection, but they're plants that I have taken a lot of time to pick out and choose to cultivate after having been growing for a long time. So anyway, I just wanted to take you on a tour. So yeah, enjoy. So first, walk into the growing area outside of this grow tent. I have my supplies shelf. I keep my pots and fertilizers and water and stuff. Soil. Keep a lot of soil mixes over here. Perlite, vermiculite. Yeah, let's have a look inside. Okay, so inside, please don't mind the cords. I'm working on arranging things so that there's less cords. I'm just hanging about. I was gonna wait to make this video until I did that, but I just figured I might as well do it now, and then I can update later as I make changes. Because I'm pretty happy with the way things are looking down here at the moment. It's about an 8x8 space. I have a lot down here in just that little area. So yeah, let's dive in. I want to start over here. Probably right here, and then work our way around. Okay, so starting off in this right corner, I've got a Hoya. It's just a really nice variegated variety. I don't grow a lot of Hoyas, but I've got a couple. I had this from my work. It was just really pretty to me. I love the variegated leaves. I got a Schlumbergia. I think this is a Thanksgiving cactus. It really suffered over the summer. It was outside, and I think it got overwatered. It was pretty neglected, so it's kind of making a recovery. I can see some new growth here. The soil still looks a bit wet, and it's probably the soil mix, so I think it is due for a repot. This is E.T. Sherry Baby Red Oncidium. It had a little bit case of thrips, but I treated that with Dorman oil spray, and it looks like it's doing much better now, and also is due for a repot. You can see it's just bursting at the seams. Okay, so a plant that I've taken up very fondly, a plant family I've taken out quite a fondness to are the Begonias. As you can see by my channel name, I've changed it to my Instagram handle name. I've been very interested in begonias since, gosh, I want to say about 2015. And I first started growing some Rexes and Rhizomatous varieties. And although I came away from them for a couple of years, I've returned very strongly to growing this genre. And I've got quite a few different varieties. And although some are not quite as beautiful as they could be, um, there's a lot of potential here in these plants. So in this first tray, I have an experiment. This is Begonia mumtaz, and this is a propagation that I did. You can see this red coloration is actually from the plant being too wet. In the previous pot it was in the mix, it was just holding on to too much water. So I repotted it with some high porosity Pro Mix, and I put it in this shallow dish. This is a rhizomatous variety, but I do think that it's a crawler, and I think that it should grow nicely in this and look pretty. So I'm looking forward to seeing the new growth coming in healthy, and this coloration going away. I have a couple different propagations that I've done over here. This is Begonia Black Beauty. That's also Begonia Black Beauty. The mother plant is in this tank right there. This is a propagation I did of Begonia 50 Shades of Gray. This is a really lovely rhizomatous variety. It gets quite frilly and gray, gray speckled leaves. And then I have Masoniana Tricolor. It's been kind of a tough grower for me. It likes high humidity and terrarium conditions. It's making a comeback. So I have a lid over these plants. Usually, I don't know where I've set it. So I'll just keep moving on. So over here, I have some of my parent plants. Again, a lot of things suffered this summer. I was very busy with my job. I work at a nursery. I was working very busy weeks, and I had a lot of things out in my greenhouse. And the soil mix that I had everything in, I think was just holding on to water a little bit too much. And I had a lot of things rotting and major setbacks this summer. I'm not sure why specifically, but all I know is that I've been dealing with the consequences and trying to get things back to status quo. This is Begonia Elephant Ear. It's a Rex type. This is Begonia Old Blue. The interesting thing about these two plants is that they have, excuse my nails, been potting, is that they have the same parents of these hybrids. They have Begonia, I want to say U489, and Longa ciliata, also known as Begonia sizemoriae, as parents. Although there's different varieties. These are both from Steve's Leaves hybrids. Over there in this back corner, I'll just show you Begonia nigritarum. There's Begonia Black Beauty. It's a really lovely plant. It's gotten quite big for me, and just a real stunner when it's bigger. Begonia mumtaz. And then a Begonia sizemoriae, Longa ciliata now, that I have had to really chop back and repot. And it's starting to grow again. And I expect it to, let me focus my camera. I expect it to come back in full swing very soon. I have another Rex hybrid. I've got a philodendron in here. This is Jose Bueno. And I have some carnivorous plants. If you remember my videos from years and years ago as a child, preteen on the YouTube, I had a lot of carnivorous plants. And that's what I was really interested in and focused on. But over the years, I've dwindled my collection down to just a shelf or two full of plants that are select varieties for me. A couple experiments, like these plants in here. I've got some interesting utricularia. And then I've got some Drosera villosa cuttings that weren't doing so well for me with the other sundews, so I set them down here, hoping that the cooler temperatures of this grow rack and they would do better. Also forgot to show you I have some plants down here too. Working on some renovations down here, and don't look at the gross walls, the concrete. So moving along, I have a little pot of Pinguicula. This is a Mexican species. I have another Mexican hybrid, Mexican ping hybrid, and some little cuttings that are just thrown in here. I'm blanking on the name of this one. Not quite sure. This is a Begonia hybrid. It's most likely River Nile or some kind of eyelash hybrid. Begonia Boweriae hybrid. This plant right here is one that I just adore. It's a begonia. It is called Begonia Miss Louisiana. Miss Louisiana. I got this plant from Steve's Leaves about a year ago. It's just a stunner. It does really well for me. Let's see the tag over here. I love the silver veination, and it's especially cool because it looks like the garden plant heuchera or coral bell, which is one of my favorite shade perennials, and I just think that it's really cool. It's like a coral bell houseplant, and it just grows great. Very deeply colored. This is my string of frogs that has been struggling, but it's starting to put out some new leaves, so I'm hoping it does better. It's the first time I've ever grown this guy. It was at my apartment and it wasn't doing so well in the window, so I brought it over here. I hope it does better. This is a Pinguicula gigantea. I've got many more Pinguiculas upstairs, so we will, well, I mean, upstairs is in the second shelf. This is a really interesting plant. This is a Syningia leucotricha, and it is a caudex forming plant, and it's in the Gesneriid family, so it's related to African violets, and it just finished flowering for me. There's an old flower bud here, and it's wonderfully fuzzy. I recommend anyone that loves succulents or desert plants or caudex forming plants to give this one a try. It's really awesome. That is Begonia lana in the back. This is Begonia night satin. Interesting hybrid. This is Begonia Frida that was fighting off some powdery mildew. I've had to spray it, but it should be fine. This is a Piper in the back here. I've forgotten the species that it is. But look at how great these leaves are. Just like awesome. Pink. Just Transcadentia in the back. If I just said that right or I just butchered it. This is my fan and heater. We are indoors, but we're in the basement, and it gets a little cooler than my liking down here. So I have this set to keep things at about 70 degrees, if not a bit warmer during the day with the lights on. Here's some dormant pinguicula in a chicken soup bowl. So now we will move up. Okay, so things get a little interesting up here. This is my carnivorous plant area. These are all my sundews and sundew type plants. You might spot some things that are not sundews if you have a trained eye. But yeah, let's get into it. I love to look at this tray from underneath to really see things glowing. Sundews have such a beautiful ability to sparkle under lights and in the sun, which is how they get their name sundew. So first up, I have some Venus flytraps, obviously. These guys I brought inside because my zone is too cold for these guys to be out in the winter. I'm in like zone 5, zone 6 in New York, and yeah, it's winter here, and I was really worried about these guys perishing. I've lost Venus flytraps before, but I do understand that dormancy is very important to this plant's health and survival. So I'm not too certain on what I'm going to do just yet. Perhaps I will give them some kind of dormancy simulated with refrigeration, or something a bit, controlled. I just didn't want to lose these because these were beautiful plants over the summer, like huge traps. I got these from Virgin Water Gardens, which is a local carnivorous plant source for me. Red Road Oxford West, which is grown from seed, and then just a red trap. Okay, this is a little pot of random sundews. This is Drosera admirabilis and some little capensis seedlings. And then, I apologize for the dirty water underneath, but it's just not practical to clean this out just for the sake of a video, especially because this water is water I purchased, so I don't want to waste it. This is Drosera riparia, which is a highland South American sundew. I had tons of these because I had a mother plant that went to seed, and I had tons of these everywhere, and now I just have this one pot. So I hope that they get back to full size again. That is a Drosera admirabilis. It looks so cute, just like popping up from the moss like that. It's got a pinguicula, Mexican pinguicula, that shares its pot. I don't really know how that ping got in there, but more the merrier. Here's a really cool Drosera admirabilis. This is a rare variety from Ceres, South Africa. Drosera admirabilis also has a form known as floating, and I think that's really cool because they're known to grow on these stalks like this above the water, so that the water would be like up to here, and then this plant is just sticking out on the stalk. So it got one variety got the name floating. And then there's some babies in the pot too. The spatulata, this is another Venus flytrap. In the back, Drosera capensis Montague Pass. This is one of my favorite capensis varieties. It gets very big. I've seen it in my collection get quite large and then die back, and it got too cold, die back, and then grow grow back. So I'm looking forward to seeing this one get back to full size. I'm gonna have to get up here a little bit more. So okay, next door, I have got a pot that has another Capensis montegupass in it, and this beautiful Biblis liniflora. Biblis is quite an underrated carnivorous plant that isn't talked about very much. I think they're just gorgeous. Believe it or not, they're not extremely closely related to the sundews, even though they look so similar. I think like they're more closer relative to like something like Nepenthes. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. And they're super easy, and they flower like crazy, and liniflora self-pollinates. I know not all Biblis varieties self-pollinate, but this one does. So you can just continue to grow it from seed. And it does great indoors under lights. And it's just to me, this is everything I want in a sundew type plant, even though it's not a sundew. I just love the way it looks. In the back corner here, I have a dormant Filiformis trachei. It's down in its hibernacula, and it's because I kept it outside through the fall, and it seems to be respecting its dormancy still and staying asleep, which I'm kind of happy about because it's such a large plant that I wouldn't want it to come back to life in here immediately, and it also wouldn't be able to survive zone 5 conditions outside. Next I have Drosera dicomata, dichotoma, also known as the fork leaf sundew. Same with binata over here. This guy, I think this is the giant form. This one gets really big for me, especially in the summertime outside. And then I kind of let them go dormant in the fall. And then as soon as I bring them in, though, they start growing again. But I think the dormancy, the slight dormancy does benefit them, because where they grow in Australia, they do get a slight winter dormancy. Really cool plant. Also called staghorn sundew. Moving over, I've got some Drosera anglica alakai swamp seedlings. And then up here is a Utricularia. This is Utricularia reniformis cross nulumbifolia. So this is an Orchioides type Utricularia, and does really well for me. You can see that it has a runner here. And a lot of new leaves. This is a new plant for me. This is Begonia, sorry, not Begonia. This is a Biblis aquatica. So, same family as this guy. This is one that I've been wanting to grow for a while, and I finally was able to acquire it. And it has a similar growth habit to the liniflora, though it's a bit more branchy. And it's very new. I just got it, so it's settling in. And I suspect that it will do well here. And I hope for it to flower. Though I don't think this one pollinates by itself. I think the only way to keep it going is by taking cuttings. But it should live for a while indoors. This is a pot of Drosera venusta. The mother plants died back. Not sure why. I think I brought this outside and it didn't do well, and so it died. And there's some venustas coming back. I also have some natalensis in here, just randos. Over here too, I have a nice little ceramic pot of Drosera natalensis. This is a really cute little one. Yeah, little bog pot. Okay. Moving swiftly along, we have all of the pinguiculas. I'm not going to go through them in detail because this would take a really long time. I do have some cool varieties though that aren't seen very much. I've got this Mornensis G Pinguicula seriana. This is John Rizzi, California Carnivores hybrid. It's got a flower coming. Jeff Jr., which is Lariana cross Marginata. Gigantea, Hua Pan. And yeah, I love my pings. I like to keep a wide variety of them. Propagate very easy from leaf cuttings. I'll have to make a video about that. That's how I end up with way too many all the time. Alright guys, so that's it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. And yeah, I've got plenty more here to show you. And please leave a like and comment your favorite plant or questions you have or something you want to see in more detail. And I would love to get back to you for it. So, Begonia Boy here. Over and out. See ya.